First off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Dale Perry, and I'm the designer and creator of the Gravedigger. There's been a few tests on Archery Talk lately, Seth being one of them, and I've gotten a lot of emails about why the Gravedigger did as well as it did in the test comparative to fixed and mechanical. And one of the things that I get is people saying that it's because of the main blade. It's still a fixed broadhead, but that's not why the Gravedigger penetrates so well. Let me explain a couple things. First off, each one of these kick-out blades is sharp to the point. They don't have a blunt edge on them. So basically, all the cutting edge all the way down is sharp. So the second thing is how we can get away with that. If you took a regular broadhead, mechanical over-the-top broadhead, and attached a blade to it like this, the pivot point is here, and the broadhead or the blade rotates away from the pivot point. With the Gravedigger, the blades go in not like this on each side, they go in like this, so they cross. So what I'm basically saying is this blade tip is this blade, and this blade tip is this blade. So basically, with the blade being curved like this, the pivot point is on the inside, and it rotates down like that. So what happens is when the broadhead penetrates the medium, whatever that medium is, it goes like this, and this blade wants to follow as it penetrates. That's why the Gravedigger penetrates so well. We did some tests and we made a small bladed version of this, and it actually penetrates better than the big bladed version. So it's not that it has a big blade, it's how the blades are deployed in this manner down versus this manner and over the top. The other thing is the questions I always get is how do the blades stay together? Simple explanation, it's on the website, but let me give it to you. Each one of these blades is dented, okay, or whatever you want to call it in production, which creates a bump on the other side. The bumps actually face each other like this, and this adjustment screw pushes them together. So what it does is it acts as a cam system. So when the blade cross each other when they're closed, they lock into place. That tension can be set with the screw, so they open really easily, or they open a little bit more difficult if you want to shoot it through ground blind mesh. These points are sharp, so it will cut right through it. You just tighten that up a little bit. I always tell people a little bit tighter is a little bit better, because the act of a broadhead hitting an animal is such a violent act. People think that it only takes a tiny bit of pressure, or only creates a tiny bit of pressure, but it's a huge amount of pressure. And the way these blades are designed, where they fall forward like this versus over the top, it doesn't take a lot of pressure to deploy the blades. One of the other questions I get is, how does a Gravedigger do on quartering shots? It's a little bit different than an over-the-top mechanical, based on the fact that these kick-out blades are sharp. So on a quartering shot, it's kind of hard to show you, but this blade, and we'll say an animal is like this and the broadhead comes in like this, if it does hit on this blade, over-the-top mechanicals get a bad rap for hitting this point, again they have a blunt edge, and rotating the arrow like this and losing all penetration. How the Gravedigger is different, if it comes in at an angle like this and it hits, this blade is going to penetrate. Okay, it's not going to hit and rotate the arrow to try to rotate open. What will happen is the skin will go between, this will penetrate, and the skin will go between the ferrule and the blade, letting the arrow continue on its path because this blade is penetrating. And because of the curvature of the blade, what happens is it just follows that blade, and it's hard for me to show you, but I'll see if I can get it a little bit close up here. When it hits, it follows that blade, and I'll keep my finger off of it, and that blade just follows its way in. This blade will deploy when it hits the skin and leave actually a larger gash in it. The Gravedigger broadhead was really designed around the tips of these blades being sharp. We're going to have a trocar tip version, which a lot of you guys have seen on the internet. And it really comes down to the design of these blades and how they lock. Being curved, being sharp, and how they lock together and how they open, they pivot down instead of over the top. So I hope that helps. It's a simple explanation for a design, but thanks for the interest in the Gravedigger, and I really do appreciate it.